The biggest sports stories of the week.
I think that is the attitude you should have. But if the first thing you bring up when you look at the standings is Craig Counsell, then he has real estate in your head.
I don't think you can even argue.
No argument.
The Green Bay Packers
argument
were
the way it ended. But like I just said it, like they were 7-8 last year against everyone besides the Bears, right?
Unique and compelling analysis and opinions when it comes to your favorite teams.
As much as they want, because both teams are good, and that game to be those two.
Kyle, you're not feeling this.
Jason knows I'm not feeling
Kyle
that.
and I have already had this argument.
Yeah.
You hate that I feel.
What else was on the WB back then? What else did I miss?
You probably saw the Wayans brothers, right?
Yeah.
The Jamie Foxx show. Come on now, Craig. Come on, Craig. You know the Jamie Foxx show?
No.
You know
This is Sunday Karma, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue. Here's GKB founder and CEO, Craig Karmazin.
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm not a CEO. It's not my title.
you're the CEO of your own life.
That's true. It's very true. The new and improved with a question mark. Sunday Karma with you on this Sunday morning, championship weekend in the NFL. No Craig Karmazin, no Greg Scalzo today.
I want you to know this is the first time in 2 years, I think, at least 2 years, maybe 3, that we've actually had a show when Craig was not here. 2 years, yeah.
That was the impetus of this whole thing. And I guess we've never gone behind the scenes on how we've done the quote-unquote new and improved with a question mark Sunday Karma.
A huge question mark. Is there such thing as a capital question mark? Bold.
Bold.
Italicized.
Yes, yeah.
Extra big font. 72 font. question
72
mark.
font and an 18 font sentence. Yeah. So the story behind this, by the way, Alex drove Kyle Wallace with you this morning. Going to be a fun one today, Sunday Karma. Jason Wilde's going to join us a little bit later than he typically does. He's going to be with us 11:30 to just about the end of the show. Then we'll get into our Palamos picks. Doug Gottlieb's going to join us at 10:30. Dougie G, loser of 17 in a row, the head coach at Green Bay, is going to join us at 10:30. We're going to try to figure out what the heck's going on up there. That's what I'm going to do at 10:30. What's going wrong? So Doug Gottlieb, 10:30, Jason Wilde, 11:30 this morning. So this is, as Kyle just mentioned, the first time we've done a show when Craig is out of town or has other commitments in a long time. So we changed the show, and I don't think, Kyle, we've never explained why we changed the show, right?
That was never explained to me either. So.
It was never explained to you?
No.
Okay, so I'll explain it. So back in like October, months ago, I approached Greg Scalzo because it was a Sunday. There was no Sunday Karma. You and Craig were busy. I don't know what you guys were doing, but we didn't have a show.
Wait. Craig was busy. Kyle was just having his day off, his Sunday off that he got. That he appreciated.
So I approached Greg Scalzo and I said, "Hey, buddy, we got to get you back on the air, right?" Greg Scalzo, formerly of Scalzo and Brust, now a vice president with our company, making an impact in a million different ways, just off the air. And I know as talented as Greg is and as good at this as Greg is, I figured there was a need to scratch the itch once in a while. And I figured, okay, Sundays, we can be Craig and Kyle's backup, right? Scalzo and Strofe will be the backup to Craig and Kyle. And Craig caught wind of this, Kyle, and said, yeah, no, we're not doing A team and B team. Everybody's just on the show now. Like, okay.
Oh, so that's how it happened?
Craig said, yeah, no A team, B team. Everybody's on the show now. So here we are. Now, nobody's on the show today. Just me and Kyle are on the show today. Because the big shots are a little busy on this Sunday.
You're going to find a common theme.
What's that?
A lot of people are going to say me and Kyle. I'm going to miss some days, but most of the time, I enjoyed my vacation days, my free Sundays when Craig wasn't here. That's what was snatched away from me is my free Sundays.
So are you going to work every Sunday from this point forward?
I mean,
until eternity?
Unless I'm going on a legit vacation, which I got some vacations put in, but I have nothing for the foreseeable future of going anywhere.
So, fair. I'm going to throw a couple Sundays off every once in a while. Like next Sunday, I'm not going to be here.
What do you mean? Oh, so you're not going anywhere?
No, I've got my girlfriend's family Christmas next Sunday. I understand next Sunday is February. I understand. Yeah.
Oh.
Really late one. Yeah, so we're doing that next Sunday.
That sounds like a debacle.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're going to marry into a family that has some things.
Well, I can't pass judgment. Kyle, my family has some things.
February Christmas?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on with that one? I was like, Christmas, we might want to celebrate Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we're 7 weeks late.
Christmas is 2024.
Yeah,
you're celebrating 2025 Christmas. That's what it is, celebrating early.
Yeah, just 9 months early rather than 2 months late. However you want to split it. Yeah, you're right. So that's what I'm doing next week. But it's going to be me and you a lot, I think. Because it's us this weekend. It's going to be us on Super Bowl Sunday. Just the two of us.
Oh, okay, all right.
I
Will
think the
Smith,
16th. Just the two of us. It's going to be just us on the 16th, I think.
Damn, you really pay attention, huh? I don't look at this schedule. I just show up.
Well,
I just show up.
the nice part for you is you're the one constant.
Yeah,
Despite this
show up.
being Sunday Karma with Good Karma Brand CEO Craig Karmazin, it is Sunday Karma with Kyle Wallace and whoever the hell shows up.
I show up to KBN. I don't know if any of my teammates are going to be going from that show. I don't know if you're going to be producing.
Hey, I'm usually there, yeah.
And then Sunday Car, I just show up. That's my job, is to show up.
So speaking of showing up, you did last night, except much earlier than I did. So
Yeah.
we were texting as we do, right? Kind of planning out the show. I'm saying, hey, here are the things that are on my mind that we'll get to throughout the show with you until noon this morning. And I said, hey, I'm about to meet, about 10:30 maybe? So I'm about to meet some friends out. Just let me know if you're thinking about anything. And you go, I don't think until the morning.
I sure don't.
That was your initial response.
I usually wake up, go to the bathroom, and on the toilet, I text out some stuff.
Okay, didn't need to know that part, but thank you for the information. So you were going to the bar. Excuse me, you were leaving the bar when I was going to the bar last night.
Absolutely. You text me at like 10:58. That's what it was, and you were texting me, all right, well, I'll see you tomorrow at 9:58 because I got some buddies that are in town, so I'm going out with them. And I'm like, that's hilarious because as I'm getting ready to say my goodbyes, he's getting ready to say his hellos.
Huh.
It's crazy.
So are you old?
Yeah, I'm old, and I think that's the whole point is that officially you see the difference between a young 20-some-year-old and a mid-30-somebody-year-old. That's exactly what it is. I am looking to go home by 11 where you're looking to turn up by 11. I remember those days, young Strophy, when I used to go out and wanted to go out at 10, 11 o'clock because that's when the party got started. And it is crazy to see the evolution of oneself of saying, I'm ready to go home at 11 with my lady. Meanwhile, Strophy is ready to go out and kick it at 11.
I would say no. I had a solid night though, like a very adult night. I went out to sushi with another couple last night.
Oh wow, that's cute.
That was a 6 o'clock thing, so we were at the restaurant until probably 8.
Oh wow.
Then we went over to a different bar. Was there until I don't know 9:30.
Oh, 6 until 2. That's what you did yesterday.
Oh well, you're giving me too much credit. I went home at 1, not 2.
Okay, still
Didn't make it to close, but also responsible. Knew I needed to be here. Didn't want to oversleep.
Oh, that's growth.
Thank you. Well, what do you mean that's growth? I've never overslept.
A year, no, I wouldn't say overslept, but a year ago you would probably still be a year and a half.
You know
ago,
what? A year ago is probably. You know what? Shoot, Kyle, 6 months ago is probably right.
Yeah, it's growth. A lot of growth.
Yeah.
I've seen you many times coming here. Yeah.
No,
had a rough one.
I
Got
kept
my water and my Gatorade here to survive.
I kept it in check. I'm in good shape this morning. So yeah. So you're leaving at 10:30. I'm showing up at 10:30. So what time are you in bed?
I got home at 11:30. I was in bed by 11:45.
And baby girl was with you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We were in the car jamming, riding home.
Jamming.
Oh, come on now. You know I turn up.
What we listened to?
I have my own club, man. I had a little Beyonce, a little Weekend, Drunken Love. You know what I'm saying? Set the mood. We drive
Beyonce
home.
and the Weekend.
Got to set the mood for my baby.
Okay. All right. Good. That's really good, Kyle. Did you have a good time?
Last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I sure did.
What'd you do?
We went out. We celebrated, Carrie Mahone, Carrie Noni Juice from 101.7 The Truth. Her man turned 30 yesterday, so we went out to the bar last night, had a great time. But, when the line started getting long, the DJ said, oh, yeah, it's getting hot. The line getting long outside. You're going to have a good night. And that's when I said, all right, it's my goodbye.
Yeah, that's time to go.
It's about to get too turned up down here. This ain't me no more.
I attended a 1-year-old's birthday party yesterday as well.
That's a waste of time.
See, I agree.
Great, yeah. So they're not going to remember. It's for adults. It's a waste of time.
Yes, it's more for the parents at that point. And obviously, like, you do a birthday party when you're a parent because you need stuff, right? And rightfully so. So attended that, was literally there for 45 minutes, and then went to the sushi restaurant. I feel bad for the kid, though. Like, all these people around him, he's not going to remember a lick of it, Kyle. He's not going to remember a second of this birthday party.
No,
it's too bad.
Yeah, it's for him to have memories, take pictures, have memories, and or her, whatever it is. And then it's for the parents to hang out. That's all it is. Parents to hang out, like you said, I guess get gifts for the child. I would just say just throw the kid money for their college fund. Everybody give me $25 to $100 for the college fund. That's what this is for.
We're done with life advice with Kyle Wallace.
I mean, what do you mean that's great. That's great life. Well, I don't need.
We'll save life advice for 12 to 1 on 107 The Truth.
I'm going to tell you this. One thing that many parents who are listening right now, they'll tell you that I don't want more toys for my kids. Toys are just a mess. It's too much. I go to people's houses who have kids, and they just always say, I apologize. It's just, he's taking over or she's taking over. I'm going to tell people ASAP, when I have children, if I'm ever blessed to have children stroke, when you come to my kid's birthday party, I'm inviting you not because I love you, it's because I need you to give me $50 to $100 for little Kyle's college fund. Don't bring no Legos. Don't bring no toys. Don't go to the Dollar Tree. Don't bring none of them knickknacks, none of them things. He already got enough of that.
So outfits were a bad idea because that's what we got him. We got him outfits.
He's going to grow out of it. I don't even want that.
Okay, you just want college fund money.
Give me money. Okay. Give me money to take care of the kid and let me decide what to do. I don't want you to buy those little 2T clothes for my kid that's going to grow out of it. That's useless. Maybe diapers or Pampers.
Life advice with Kyle Wallace.
No, I keep it 100. Ain't life advice. This is keeping it real.
I mean this with all due respect. Before we get to a break, do you believe you've ever approached a situation and said, "I don't have the answer for that"?
Very few times. Yeah, very, very few times. Because I'll evaluate a situation, but life is difficult. But it's not. There's a lot of answers, right? There's a lot of solutions to the problems. Strofe, you've known me for a little bit now. How many times have I walked up to you with a problem and not had a solution where either I knew the solution, other people couldn't get to the solution, or I said, Strofe, I need help with this?
I asked that question because the answer to that question is zero.
Exactly.
Zero times.
No, I always have the answer. You can call me Mr. Answer. I have an answer to something. Now, you may not like the answer, but I have the answer. And sometimes I sugarcoat it. You think I'm lying? I always have an answer to something. There's always a solution to something.
I'm glad you say that because you had an answer earlier this week about Jordan Love versus another quarterback. And to be real frank with you, it pissed me off. We're going to get to that conversation coming up next year on Championship Sunday. It is Commanders, Eagles, Chiefs, Bills. 4 teams remain. 2 will get to the Super Bowl here in a couple of weeks. Big one in the NFL today. But I do want to talk about Jordan Love, the Packers quarterback, coming up next, and something Kyle had to say earlier this week on Kyle Bruston Nortman that just got under my skin a little bit. You're still capable of it, Kyle Wallace. Mr. What'd you say? Mr. Answer is your new nickname?
Yeah. Definitely. What am I, AI, the answer?
Yeah, the answer. All right, AI,
also,
the answer.
Paul Pierce, the truth. I could be everything good.
We'll get Kyle's bad answer on Jordan Love versus Jaden Daniels. Coming up next, it's Sunday Karma with you right here on ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
It's the perfect Valentine's heart.
The kind a schoolboy would draw.
It's the most adorable pendant we've ever created.
Innocent, fun-loving, and sweeter than honey.
Cute, cute, cute.
It's cherry red ceramic that's been through the fire.
We've been making ceramic jewelry for thousands of years.
Seriously?
Google it.
But this ceramic heart has things they didn't know about thousands of years ago.
Like what?
Diamonds. 18 of them.
These created diamonds were made for the one who sparkles like the sun.
I can see her in my mind right now.
It's the perfect Valentine's gift.
And it's only $128 at Kessler's.
Monica, what else do we have?
We have 4 different ways to say I love you.
Each pendant is a different shape covered in diamonds.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
An oval.
A square with rounded corners.
A teardrop.
And a heart.
Your choice, just $148 at Kessler's. For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, it's Mr. Fear the Deer himself. Brandon Jennings joins Marcus and Chris. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Homer here. I'm inviting you to join me starting August the 9th, as we explore the many shades of Ireland with Colette Vacations. A 10-day journey filled with legendary views, historic expeditions, and unforgettable tales. Explore the historic city of Dublin, kiss the famous Blarney Stone, and stand on the spectacular cliffs of Moher. We'll also journey Ireland's breathtaking countryside and follow the stunning coastal route of the Ring of Kerry. We'll experience the daily life of an Irish family with a dairy farm visit, and even enjoy a taste or two at a historic whiskey distillery. Plus, there's a stay overnight at a medieval castle. Join me for all of these experiences and many more. Visit ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com for trip information, or come to Maddie's Bar and Grill in New Berlin on February the 2nd to meet me and the Colette team. Colette handles all the details of the 10-day excursion, the flights, the meals, the hotels, the experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss out. Learn all about it on February 2nd at 5 p.m. in New Berlin at Maddie's Bar and Grill.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. Zero sugar, zero carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft Greystone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft Greystone from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Start the day with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Can't get to the Super Bowl in early October, but they are not playing like a team that has those types of aspirations right now.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN, and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
We don't miss. We do not miss. I lost my crazy. I mean, we just put them in the pavement. Hey, bro, yeah, I miss you more than
Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
And I'm plugged on the border. Send them through. We gonna get them gone.
Sunday Karma with you this Sunday morning, Championship Sunday in the NFL. Alex Stroh, Kyle Wallace hanging out with you. ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison. The Carbless Talking text line, 800-990-3776. List is more with our friends at Carbless. One of my favorites on the phone line right now, Brandon in Tulsa, is going to join us in just a moment. And I love Brandon because he's a huge Packers fan, lives in Oklahoma, listens to us, calls in all the time. And he actually made me think a lot last weekend, Kyle, because, you know, I was watching the divisional round games, and Brandon tweeted me. This is last Sunday, 1 week ago today. You know, after watching the games this weekend, I'm worried that Green Bay isn't close to these teams. I feel like they're 2 to 3 years away. And I threw out, to my network on Twitter, just like, is anybody else feeling this way? Do you feel watching divisional round weekend like the Packers are 2 to 3 years away? Because I didn't. But I was curious if other people did. And other people said yes. So I was interested to hear that from Brandon, but interested to hear what he's got today on the championship weekend. Brandon in Tulsa with us now on the Carbless Talking text line here on Sunday Karma. What's up, Brandon? Happy Sunday.
Hey, guys, what's going on? Good to hear from you. Hope you're having a good one. Merry Christmas, Alex.
Yeah, thank you.
As Kyle was.
You're a week early, but thank you.
Yeah, man, I was telling Kyle, I've been pretty bitter. And, you know, I tweeted at you last weekend as I watched the divisional round. And, maybe it's a seasonal affective disorder or whatever is going on right now, the gloomy weather. But I'm very jealous of the upcoming games today. And as I was looking at these teams, I was just thinking, why can't that be us? And yeah, I know in 2021 we were there, but Rodgers is gone, and we still really don't know what Jordan's going to be. And I was thinking, what do these teams have that we don't? And obviously it's not just one answer, but whether it's the Chiefs having a scary defense year in and year out, that makes me mad. Why hasn't Spagnuolo gone on to be a head coach? Like, let the league grow. But he won't leave. He could be a head coach, but he won't leave. And so Patrick just has an elite defense someone threw out a crazy stat that they haven't scored 30 points in however many weeks. Doesn't matter. He doesn't need to score. He just needs to toss a touchdown or two, and he'll go at his fourth ring. That made me mad. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. That's a Super Bowl winning team if Lamar Jackson doesn't turn the ball over and my favorite Sooner tight end, Mark Andrews, doesn't make a drop.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the question. Here's what I'm calling in. As we watch the games today with these teams, if you could pick one facet from a team to add it to the Packers in 2025, what would it be? Because my answer, I want to have that guaranteed ace in the hole that the Chiefs have between Mahomes and Kelsey. I want to know that every game, no matter who we're playing, Jordan and a guy are just unstoppable. Even if it doesn't make you win the game, there is a go-to tandem like we had with Rodgers, Jordy, or Rodgers and Devontae. That's what I'm looking forward to. And maybe it can't get there because Jordan's still developing. But, there's multiple things holding us back. But for me, I want to see that just unstoppable duo going into next year because I don't see us winning Super Bowls unless Jordan's able to play at that level with another guy.
So I'm with you, Brandon, and appreciate the call as always. Now, before I get to my answer on that, man, he sounds sad.
Yeah, I think most Packers fans feel how he feels. I've been trying to mask my sadness because this is tough. You know what makes this so hard, Strofe? Is that the Commanders came out of nowhere.
Yes, so I was just about to acknowledge that, right? That if you're sad, rightfully so, that the Packers are not playing this weekend and didn't play last weekend, I get you. I hear you. I feel you. Right? Like, I get why you would be upset. Because last year, this team outperformed expectations and got to the divisional round and went on the road and won a playoff game against Dallas and was in the game against the eventual NFC champion 49ers. So, to lose in the wild card round this year, have Love play the way he did. I don't want to call it regression, but there wasn't a huge jump from him this year. I get why you would feel that way. But look, as Kyle just pointed out, if this year is proof of anything, it is proof that turnarounds can happen really damn fast in the NFL. The Commanders won 3 games last year. They had the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. They are one of 4 teams remaining. They are in the Super Bowl with a win today.
Yep, and it's not out of the realm of possibility they win today.
It is not. I mean, they are dogs, right? They're 6-point dogs. But
Philly has not been a juggernaut.
No, they have not. And Jaden Daniels has proven when the lights shine, he shines, right? So there is certainly a path to victory for the Commanders today to get to the Super Bowl. Jaden Daniels would become the first rookie quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. So to Brandon's disappointment, turnarounds can happen really fast. And here's the thing about the Packers. Despite not getting as far as they did a year ago, they were a better team this year. They won more games in the regular season, albeit not a sexy win in those 11 wins. But 11 wins is 11 wins in the NFL. You're not going to apologize for winning. They improved in terms of their win-loss. They were more consistent on both sides of the ball, probably more so defensively. Offensively, they had that great stretch in 2023. But they were more consistent down the stretch this year, I would argue. Still some drops, still some bad penalties, still a lot of things you want to clean up. So that should give you hope that this team is trending in the right direction. If there was a facet I would like to see the Green Bay pick up and add and become very, very good at in 2024, it is a game record offensively in the front four. Right? The pass rush was non-existent. And that was the one thing watching last weekend, and I'm sure we'll see more today as we watch championship weekend, is teams that are playing in late January have a dominant pass rush or have somebody that can change a game at that position.
I mean, you know about Chris Jones, right? Like, you have guys like that.
Exactly.
You saw Ed Oliver last week play very well. He popped, he impacted. We already know that Philly defense, they have 2 guys. They have a guy in Jalen Carter who's in his second year. The Washington Commanders, I'm not 100% sure who their guy is, but they're just playing good football right now. But typically, these teams, you have somebody who can take over a game or make a play when you need it defensively.
Yeah. I mean, Washington by no means has that dude, but they have a ton of.
They have a good guy.
They have a ton of veteran presence too, right? Bobby Wagner's on that defense. Dante Fowler's on that defense. Jonathan Allen's on that defense.
Ron Payne. They got guys.
Ron Payne, who I believe is out today, but nonetheless.
Oh, that sucks for them.
Sure does. Doesn't your boy play for Washington?
They got Nick Bellore on that team. Special teams maven, special teams guy. Been around for a long time, a veteran. He was a captain last year for the Seahawks. Pro Bowler.
So,
4-1-4.
4-1-4. Hour at 4. As you say on KBN every day at 4 o'clock.
Hour at 2 today. Shout out to Nick Bellore.
There you go. Jeff in the 920 text in on the Cardinals Talking text line, 800-990-3776. With LaFraud as the head coach and Goody blowing first-round picks, they will never, I repeat, never make it to the Super Bowl. And it kills me to say that, been a fan since the mid-'60s. I just don't think that's true. Matt LaFleur did show some blemishes and some shortcomings here in 2024. No doubt about that. But he's a damn good football coach. Brian Gutekunst's a good GM. This offseason is about taking some swings, both in the draft and free agency. And that's why I feel good about this team and that they're not that far away. You got it.
They take swings.
Yes, I guess you're right. I do hope it. But as we've talked about many times over the course of the last few weeks, Kyle, this is a team financially that is in a better situation than they've been in forever. They have a lot of money to toy around with this offseason.
And I think, Struff, really quickly, the disappointing part is the fact that we're hoping they take swings because we know they have to take swings. This last year, we were hoping that this team came into this season, guys need to take that next step, right? That's what we're thinking about. Take the next step. Before they signed Xavier McKinney, and definitely before they signed Josh Jacobs, and we thought Aaron Jones may be coming back, we just felt like they need to take a step in the right direction. Now we don't feel so sure about those receivers on our team. We don't feel so sure that the D-line can ever take that next step after the change in defense. So I think that's why people feel the way that our boy from Tulsa, Brendan from Tulsa, feels, because we don't see guys on this roster that truly can take that next step.
So I'm with you, and I hear you, right? Like, there was some shortcomings and some disappointments this year. But some of these problems, I think there are like 4 main problems for the Packers. Number one, the quarterback play needs to be better. And I think Love is capable of that. He dealt with 3 different injuries this year. He's got to take that next step for sure. But he was better down the stretch outside of the playoff game. Minimize turnovers, put them in positions to win games. I think the quarterback play can be better and will be better next year. I think that's one of the main issues. Number 2, somebody needs to emerge as the number 1 pass catcher. And can that be done internally? Yes. But there's disappointment from that this year because it didn't happen, right? Jaden Reed didn't take that next step. Christian Watson, no fault of his own, but obviously dealt with some injuries again this year. Same with Romeo Doubs. So you really didn't have the opportunity for somebody to emerge as a top pass catcher. But the thing with all teams except Buffalo playing this weekend is they have a true number 1 pass catcher, right? Brandon just mentioned Travis Kelce in Kansas City. Washington is Terry McLaurin. Philadelphia has A.J. Brown. Super Bowl champions typically have a number 1 pass catcher. It can be a tight end, but you need a true number 1, a true security blanket for that quarterback. The Packers don't have that right now. So that needs to happen, number 2. Number 3, pass rush needs to be addressed in some capacity. Draft, free agency, both. Needs to be addressed. And cornerback is the other thing that needs to be addressed. Are you moving on from Jair Alexander, yes or no? And who is going to step up as your number 1 corner? Are you grabbing somebody in free agency? I know that sounds like a lot, but 2 at least, if not 3 of those things can be done right in the house. You fire your defensive line coach, and yes, you'd like to have a true game wrecker there, but those are the 4 big things I think the Packers need to address this offseason. And they'll be right in this conversation, and I would be surprised if they weren't playing in divisional round, if not championship round next year. They're right there. A couple of things need to happen, though. And I do believe this is the offseason Brian Gutekunst goes out and does it. So we will see. We will see. Jason Wilde's going to join us, by the way, 11:30 this morning. We will talk through the little the offseason to-do list, if you will, for the Packers to get back to where next year at this time we're having a Green Bay game day party ahead of the championship game. Because I still think this team is right there, but we will see. All right, little college basketball talk coming up next. Doug Gottlieb, the head coach at Green Bay, is going to join us. Now losers of 17 straight. Lost to Cleveland State last night, down 3 starters. Let's hash this out with Doug. It's the longest losing streak in the country, 17 in a row. The second longest is 11 games in a row. I mean, they are by far and away the longest losing streak in the country. I like Doug. Doug likes Green Bay, but not going super hot here in year 1 for Doug Gottlieb. They're 2-20. Doug Gottlieb, head coach at Green Bay, going to join us coming up next. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
This is Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. I'm reaching out with a message that's close to my heart. Devastating fires have ravaged the Los Angeles area, leaving families displaced, homes destroyed, and the community in need of help. Right now, you have the power to make a real difference. Your donation, big or small, can provide food, shelter, supplies, and much-needed support for those affected by the fires. If you are able to, please help those affected by the California wildfires and donate at www.lafoodbank.org/fire.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting another Scramble tournament with $750 in cash prizes available. Hey ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellison, and Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a two-man scramble at Pebble Beach, all from their comfortable golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. The tournament costs $120 per pairing and is happening now through January 31st. Your winter chance to play Pebble Beach awaits. WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. Universal Windows Direct is offering an amazing deal right now. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. That's right. For every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 more absolutely free with no limit in 36 months of no interest financing. Plus, if you've already received a quote from another company, bring it to Universal Windows Direct and they'll beat it. Schedule your free in-home estimate today or visit universalwindowsdirect.com, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
For your fellow fanatics and your number one fans, for your game day compatriots and your personal cheerleaders, for all the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Support your overall health so you can be your best for those who matter to you most. Call Eric Pearson. Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. The Saganiac Planning Marquette basketball greatest scorers. Tony Smith, he had crazy numbers. In 87 as a freshman, 8 points per game, 8. And yet his senior year, it tripled to 24 a game. Smith's average for many years was the highest single-season scoring average in Marquette history. And he scored 44 against Wisconsin. And 2 weeks later, 43 against Butler. Think. 87 in 2 games, when as a freshman, he scored 234 in an entire season.
The new year is here, and we all know it's the perfect time to hit the reset button. Let's be real, guys. Feeling confident in how you look and feel isn't just for women. That's where Quintessa Aesthetic Center comes in. From now through March 31st, Quintessa is offering exclusive packages to help you start 2025 as a more confident you. Whether it's weight loss plans or even IV therapy, Quintessa has personalized options backed by medical experts to help you look and feel your absolute best. Visit myquintessa.com to learn more. Make 2025 the year you feel confident inside and out.
This message is sponsored by WisCaregiver.com. Now is the time to start a meaningful career as a caregiver. Make a real difference in people's lives. WisCaregiver.com gives you 2 great options for free. Train for the in-demand caregiver workforce as a CDCP, Certified Direct Care Professional, or become a CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. All training is free. Plus, you can earn a $500 bonus. Learn more. Visit WisCaregiver.com.
Homer here. I'm inviting you to join me starting August the 9th as we explore the many shades of Ireland with Colette Vacations, a 10-day journey filled with legendary views, historic expeditions, and unforgettable tales. Explore the historic city of Dublin, kiss the famous Blarney Stone, and stand on the spectacular cliffs of Moher. We'll also journey Ireland's breathtaking countryside and follow the stunning coastal route of the Ring of Kerry. We'll experience the daily life of an Irish family with a dairy farm visit and enjoy a taste or two at a historic whiskey distillery. We'll even stay overnight in a medieval castle. Join me for all of the experiences and so many more. All the details are online at ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com. Don't worry about the planning. Colette handles all the details of this 10-day excursion. You can get full scoop of this once-in-a-lifetime trip on February the 2nd at 5 p.m. as I'll be hanging out with the Colette team at Maddie's Bar and Grill in New Berlin. That's February 2nd, 5 p.m. Maddie's in New Berlin. Don't miss out.
We don't just cover the green and gold. We cover the green and gold. Your home for Green Bay football talk. 94.5 ESPN and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
1, 2, 3. 4. Bust it.
Remix. Wacko, Juvenile, Skip. Holla back.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Yeah, no Craig, no Scalzo this week. Alex Strofe, Kyle Wallace hanging out with you. Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Always enjoy catching up with this guy. Doug Gottlieb, first-year head coach at Green Bay basketball. Been a rough go the last couple months. 17 losses in a row for the Phoenix. 0-11 in Horizon League play. But this is a guy that's going to be determined to figure it out. Dougie, good morning. Thanks for the time, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. It's actually a beautiful day, looking out over the bay. So life ain't bad. If losing games with kids that are playing as hard as they can is the worst thing that happens to you, life's pretty good, right?
Yeah, I think it could be worse. But nobody likes to lose, Doug. Right? 17 in a row. What are you telling your guys? Right? Like, how do you keep them motivated, ready to go when you have the longest losing streak in the country? What's your message?
Well, we just played the team with the longest winning streak in the country, and it was a 2-point game with 4:15 to go in the game, and it's weird. And my leading scorer Anthony Roy has been out since December 14th, and Jeremiah Johnson, who's the preseason freshman of the year in the league, he didn't make the trip. He hurt his little lower leg injury. He'll be fine. And then of course, to add insult to injury, then Marcus Hall, who's probably my best all-around player, he went down with something in his knee with 10 minutes gone in the game. So, we're down our top 3 scorers against a really good team. And you know what? If you're in our locker room or you're at one of our practices or even on our plane ride home last night, you'd be like, wait, what's your guys' record? Because our whole team, we know we're pretty good. We just, look, there have been some games in which we just didn't have it. We're super, super young. I'm inexperienced. And we can't get the ships passing the night in terms of health, and when you're young, when you don't have probably the top end level of overall talent that's needed to compete, your margins are slight. And so you go through every one of them. And last night in the close game, we all of a sudden had massive foul trouble. Okay, so you're down 3 starters, and then you have foul trouble, and you're playing against a team that ends up just kind of throwing it off the board and going and getting it and having 16 offensive rebounds, and that's how you lose. So what am I telling my team? That we're going to keep fighting. We're getting better. Just get better in every 4 minutes of a game called a war. Win those wars, and eventually we'll get a dub. But we gotta figure out how to kind of keep it together second half when teams put together a little run, especially when we get foul trouble.
Yeah. Obviously it's frustrating for you. It's frustrating for your guys, but the season's not over. I imagine is part of that message too, right? Like, you still got fighting to do the next couple of months, Doug. So,
listen, our season I would never say these games don't matter, because they do.
Yeah,
and
of course they do.
I'm a super competitive human being. I have never been through anything like this ever, and I'm just the idiot when we won our first game. I was like, man, I'll never forget Bill Self when he got the Kansas job. He's like, hey, and you guys forget my first year at ORU, I lost 18 in a row. And I was kind of like, who, thank God, it felt like forever just to get the first one. And then, we got the second one, and we thought we were pretty good. We got popped a couple times. So I've never been through this. But, our season truly comes down to 4 games in March. It's literally it. And I honestly believe this, and so does our team. If we have all of our guys on the, for those 4 days in March, I don't think anybody wants to play us. The only thing we're lacking is the having done it and won the games, completed the task. So that's just the reality of it. And maybe it's because my guys are young enough, or maybe it's I'm ambitious enough that I mean it. Like, people would think guys are checking out. Where am I going next year? What am I doing? We've had our best practices, and the guys are all energetic. Look, it's a gut punch when you lose those games. You're like, damn, we lost again?
Of course.
Damn, what happened? We had it. But it's not that they don't see that we're not coaching the process. And then eventually the results will follow.
So you just said something that caught my ear, Doug. You said, if we have all of our guys, nobody's going to want to play us. I know you have that attitude because you're in the gym every day with those guys.
No, it's not the attitude. That's the reality. I have the best player in the Horizon League by a sizable amount. He hasn't played. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Anthony Roy play.
I have.
He's really,
I've texted
really
you
good.
about him, Doug. He's a really good player. But you've missed him most of the season now.
No, I mean, we lost him. We were up 8 at Santa Barbara, and he got hurt. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, he's our best player. So, and he's coming back to play. And again, and when he went down, we didn't have Yonatan Levy, our Israeli big guy who's been here for, 5 games. And, I mean, the whole thing we've been missing is a 5-man, and he's tremendous. Yeah,
I want to ask you about him, Doug, because it's a fascinating story here in the era of NIL and the transfer portal. So Yonatan Levy, 23 years old from Israel, but he's classified as a true freshman at 23 years old. How did you end up recruiting him mid-season, and what do you think the future looks like for a guy like him? Really talented kid.
So he was on a pro team in Israel the last 2 years in Eilat. We have one from Ben Tweedy who played great last night. He's from Australia. He's an 18-year-old freshman. We signed a kid, Lockie Crate from New Zealand, who'll come next year. We have Mustafa Cisse, Momo Cisse, who's from Senegal originally. And then we have another Israeli big, Royal Selka, who we've had since September. But I'm close with both. They share the same agent, and a gentleman named Yuval Shalom. And Yuval and I were in touch, and we didn't know if we'd have a scholarship or how it would work out. But he said, I got to figure out if he wants to play in college. And so when he wanted to play in college, he wanted to come mid-year, and we recruited him. And the difference for us is a couple things. One, people in Israel see me coach there, so there's some trust there. His coach in Eilat was actually my teammate when I played in Ra'anana. Oh, wow. 23 years ago?
Yeah, the year he was born, Doug, I believe would be the math on that.
Yeah. And he watched us play, and he was like, Coach, if, when we played Oklahoma State, if we had Yonatan, we win the game. If we have our whole roster, I truly believe that we're probably somewhere in a 500 variety right now. Maybe a little bit better. I mean, obviously taking in the fact that we're a lower end of the mid-major and you're playing, we played 4 guaranteed games. Right. So, but the other part to it is it's made me a way better coach, and it's challenged a lot of these other guys who wouldn't have been playing. They've all played a ton. We're playing 3 guys that we brought in with the idea of we're going to redshirt them. Mm-hmm. So, it's anyway, so we got Yonatan that way, and literally we wanted to have him for the Drake game. We go and we lose our best player, and then we play at that time one of the last undefeated in the country. Team, yeah. And he couldn't get there until I think he got here January 1 maybe. And, we threw him in there, and he played not in shape, doesn't know any of the plays. Even last night, we're playing through him, and we put in all new packages because we haven't really played through a 5 who can score in the post and off the elbow. So there's a limit to what you can do, but it's been awesome. And he was really excited. Thursday was his first day of class. He was nervous. He's like, I haven't been to class in a couple of years. I'm excited. Everybody on campus already knows him and knows Roy because they're 2 super, super friendly, grown-up dudes. So it's awesome. Again, you bring in a 23-year-old who's eager to go to college.
Yeah.
It's really, really refreshing for for players.
It's a super fascinating story, and I appreciate you sharing that because I was curious kind of what the process was, but to hear he's like jacked up to go attend class, it's just that's awesome. What happened with the rims last night, Doug? I saw a video on Twitter. Cleveland State, before the game, you went out there and you were like, hey, I don't think that's 10 feet. You tweeted it was 9/11. The CSU crew was great, raised it to 10. How did you notice an inch?
Well, okay. I mean, how long have you done radio?
About 8 years.
Okay. So by about year 30 of doing it, you'll notice everything that's ever off. Okay. I mean, my dad was the head coach at UW Milwaukee when I was a kid. I attended my first game when I wasn't I don't think I was a year old.
But Doug, we're not talking about a foot here. We're talking 9/11 versus 10 feet. You could tell an inch.
I walked out and what was weird is they had a women's game right before ours, and they're like, we haven't changed it all year, which I find to be ridiculous. But no, you look at it and it looked low, and so sometimes it's like, well, it's the background. If there's space behind, if you ever been to like a high school gym where there's a wall behind it, the hoop looks high. If there's like space or it's black behind it, the hoop looks low. So they have a big curtain. Cleveland State's that arena is gigantic.
It's a huge arena.
It's so massively overbuilt, like it's gigantic. So they have a big curtain behind it, kind of like what we have at the Resch. So at first I thought, well, maybe it's the background, and then I was looking, and you can just tell. So then we like, hey, can we measure this? Now most places, NBA places, they all have this like it's like a staff, almost like Moses' staff, and it's 10 feet high, right? And there's a marker there. It's really easy. They didn't have one, so they had to go. And then the guy's like rolling their eyes, like, really think it's off, coach? I'm like, yeah, it's off. It makes a difference. So we thought the other end was off too, but we just like, enough, we're fine. We just adjusted some. But yeah, put down the measuring tape, and it was 9/11. So then they tried to raise it. It was 9/11 and a quarter. That was kind of a tedious thing. How they had to put it down and put it back up, and inexact science.
I don't know that I've ever seen anything quite like that. So I was intrigued to hear. But you know what? You're around it that long. That makes sense.
Listen, I'm at some point there will be a book on this year. I mean, you name it, it has happened.
Well, dude, a couple weeks ago, so the power goes out at the Resch Center in Green Bay, and as you guys are about to host a game, and you have to move the freaking game back to campus
to our home gym, which just had to be ready, right? I mean, it was. And there's more to that one because we moved that game time up because the Packers were playing the Vikings, right? And rightfully so, the coach of PFW, he was ticked. He's like, hey, we got these charter planes. It's our first game we're chartering all year. And, like, we get done now, all of a sudden we got to, like, move that up. And the charter company would move it up. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Then he ends up, like, almost being late to his charter because, the game gets delayed. You name it. We're playing Michigan Tech right after Anthony Roy goes down, and we're up 13. Our point guard dives on the floor, gets a concussion. There was a point in time when I used to turn to Dennis Harrington, my Dobo, and just smile and go like, I think I might be cursed. And now I'm like, nah. This is just a culmination of bizarre events, but we're coaching our asses off, and the kids are awesome. Like, here's a real thing, and I know it sounds hokey and it sounds like excuse making, like whatever. I don't care. We had the best team GPA in school history. The kids are awesome. I never have to worry. I said this. I was walking. Jordan McCabe, as you know, is my assistant.
Yeah.
And we walked to get coffee yesterday morning, and I was like, do you know what's different than us and most other teams in this predicament? Like, we don't ever have to worry about somebody calling us in the middle of the night, something going wrong. Like, we have unbelievable human beings. We got to just teach them to be a little bit better at basketball. We got to be a little bit better coaching them at basketball. Like, all right, we'll do it. It'll get there. So better year 1 than year 5, right?
Yeah, I guess so, right? I mean, hopefully, year 5 comes, right, Dougie? And I think the big criticism, before I let you go, I know holding you long, when you got hired was he's going to be a radio host and a basketball coach. What's different if you are just a basketball coach? Anything?
Wait, sorry. Can you repeat the question? I got a little modulation there.
All good. If you are just a basketball coach, let's say you gave up the radio show, is anything about this season different in your mind?
No. No. I don't get me wrong. Like, it's a lot, but like the problem is that I don't think, there's a couple of different places they're going to follow me around here over the next couple weeks, and people will see. But, because I'm in Green Bay and not in whatever, pick any other school. Like, remember, I don't have a coach's show, and there's lots of stuff. I mean, you do, when you're a head coach, you do tons of other things, but they don't necessarily pertain to basketball. Like, you should go watch more tape. Like, okay, first of all, I watch tape all the time. It's not really that big a thing. I'm not sure if anybody understands what like synergy and all the different technology we have where you can watch every possession of every player anywhere. So if you're doing the work. And again, what would change if I wasn't in the radio? I don't know. I guess I'd be sitting around the office BSing with my assistants more about the hierarchy of different, the greatest countries in the world. Like, that's what college coaches do. Like, we coach, we recruit, and then we kind of sit around and talk about, life and, and zone defenses, and then OB plays, and then we go and sometimes veer off into other things in life, right? Mm-hmm. So instead of BSing with my coaches, I BS on the radio for a couple hours a day. It's really quite silly. And the other part that's weird is I just would have thought, and I think most real people, it's like, it's fun to troll me because we're losing. It's fine. Just remember, like, all those digital receipts exist. Then we start winning. Then you look dumb. Then you're like, okay, well, is it because he didn't do the radio show on this day? Like, I don't even know. Ask my kids if they're prepared. Ask them what we do at practice is appropriate. Ask them if they're engaged, if they feel like we have a relationship, and ask them if there's anybody else they want to play for. And I would, I don't tell them what to say. Mm-hmm. We're doing a good job up here. We just, sometimes the results haven't followed. And again, I'm not perfect. I can think of 15 different things I should have done last night, but that's anybody at any job that they actually put their soul
normal. I'm with you. That's normal.
Yeah. Huh. So,
well, good.
Listen, it's really easy when you lose a game. It's really easy when you're a known figure. Like, what I think is funny is there's a dude who wrote something for Outkick last week about our horrible weekend. And, last weekend we lost to Youngstown State, who's one of the best teams in our league. We're up 10 with 9.5 to go, and we lose. And, I mean, it's a freaking gut punch. We played so well. And we just couldn't close, like every kid had a little turnover, misplay down the stretch, and we end up losing by 4. So you get back and a buddy of mine says like, hey, isn't that Outkick? Like, I thought you're close with Clay Travis. I was like, I am, but like, he doesn't tell them what to write and I don't care. Mm-hmm. So this guy calls me and I said, well, what'd you think of the game? He's like, well, I didn't watch. It's like, well, okay, well, why? What was the point of writing a piece about our horrible weekend and being up 10 with 9.5 to go and win probability? And he's like, well, you're a big name. It's like, that's fine. Like, if your take is I suck as a coach, that's fine. Find fault with something I've done, or at least tell the story appropriately, or at least go like, hey, yeah, they lost their best player's been out for a month and a half, almost 2 months, and they have the youngest roster in the league, and he's inexperienced, like, whatever. Like, it's fine if you just provide the proper amount of context. And again, if you think I suck as a coach, I have a 5-year contract. Over the next 5 years, you'll be able to figure it out. But
yeah,
I distinctly remember when we were playing earlier this year against some of the high majors, people going like, hey, he might know what he's doing. So there's a lot that goes into it. I've learned a ton. I'm going to keep learning. We're going to keep getting better. The results will follow. That's how it works.
Absolutely. And you've got time, and you've got some good opportunities here coming up in the next couple of weeks as we lead up to the Horizon League tournament at the beginning of March. Doug Gottlieb, head coach at Green Bay. Doug, always good catching up, my man. Good luck with the rest of the way, and we'll talk soon, all right?
Okay. See you.
It's Doug Gottlieb, head coach at Green Bay, with us here on Sunday Karma. Lots of reaction rolling in on that. We will get through some of that. We will get back to Packers conversation. What needs to change this offseason? Jaden Daniels or Jordan Love? Kyle has an opinion, a stinky one. We will get to that. All still ahead. Sunday Karma with you right here, ESPN Wisconsin.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. What happens when you mix a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I'm not going to get into the Kringle turnover game, so that's what it needs to be. I think his legs. Yeah.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Like the pastry
Are you guys being
turnovers.
serious? You guys can't put two and
I got it. I did not get it.
They don't call themselves Racine Danish turnovers.
Sorry. Sometimes I wonder about you two, man.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Call, that's all. That's what I did to those mystery guests, but I guess they didn't call back. But when one call, that's all happens with Gruber Law Offices, you know that you can be at ease because you're going through something you never thought you'd go through. You're injured, a loved one's injured, something's happening to you, your family that you never went through. Well, they've gone through it tens of thousands of times for Wisconsinites based here in Wisconsin. That's how, as a family-owned company, they've become nationally recognized because then your stress is gone. You are taken care of, and you only pay if you win. So if you or a loved one's ever injured, remember, it's one call, that's all. With Gruber Law Offices.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouthwatering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Join the Bucks and tip off Black History Month with the team's Black Excellence Game, presented by Hennessy on Sunday, February 2nd. Celebrate the next generation of Black leaders through storytelling, performances, and more. Enjoy incredible on-court action when the team faces off against Memphis, while we shine a spotlight on Black excellence in our community. Visit bucks.com/impact for details and to secure your tickets. That's bucks.com/impact.
Whether you are a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit our great city of Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Hey, maybe you got friends coming in from out of town. St. Kate the Arts Hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee with deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music. You and your friends will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. If you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now is the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off your Lugstone shower remodel and no payment financing until 2026. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Do you want to have more fun watching the NFL playoffs? Try playing Sleeper Picks. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. You can win up to 100 times your cash. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to just play $5 and they'll receive $55 in free entries. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN.
He thinks he left the video stream for 5 minutes. When I say I am sweating, I am out of shape drastically.
This is ESPN Milwaukee on 94.5 ESPN and on video at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Get on Field USA.
Block Entertainment. Yeah.
You know I go by the name Nitty, right? Yeah. I gotta introduce y'all.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Right now, what we gotta do for y'all? What we gonna do?
Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Alex Stroh, Kyle Wallace hanging out with you. Championship Sunday in the NFL. Dancing Kyle Wallace on a Sunday morning. You're fired up.
Yeah, you remember this dance?
I don't know that I ever learned it.
Oh, that's right. I forget how young you are.
I know the song.
You're go out at 11 young still.
Yeah.
So you would know this song. When this song came out, you were probably in diapers wetting.
No, I definitely know the song.
What is it called?
Is it called like Going Down or It's Going Down?
Yeah, It's Going Down. You know who made it?
I don't know who's by.
Young Jock.
Okay.
That's all right.
J.O.C., right?
Yeah, J.O.C. is coming back.
Okay. Well, we're on an audio medium, Kyle. Nobody can see you. Well, actually, I take it back. On YouTube, they can see you.
On YouTube, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
You're ridiculous. Thanks to Doug Gottlieb, Green Bay head coach, joining us last segment. A lot of reaction on that coming in on the Cardinals Tuggets X line, 800-990-3776.
Sorry, Stroke. Here we go. There's people driving their cars doing it right now.
And on YouTube, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN, Madison Jermaine says, a good coach would say we have enough to win next man up. You're not doing a good job. You lost 17 in a row, Doug. Yeah, there was a lot of confidence in Doug Gottlieb's voice. He made the comment, and I followed up on it. Said, if we have all of our guys back, nobody's going to want to see us. And maybe he's right. I mean, I can't say I've polled the Horizon League coaches recently, but I don't know how many teams fear Doug in the Phoenix right now. And Doug mentioned it. He's a 5-year contract. He's going to get brought back. He's not getting fired. Like, we can go ahead and eliminate that from possibilities, I would assume. Josh Moon, the athletic director of Green Bay, is committed to Doug. And they're paying a few coaches right now, including Bo Ryan's son, Will Ryan, is still getting paid by the university. So I would guess Doug Gottlieb.
Still. Was Sundance only there for a year?
Sundance was only there for a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 1 year. Now he's the head coach of Wyoming.
Well, they sucked under Will Ryan.
Yeah,
and Sundance had them they were good last year.
So they made that hire in 2020, Will Ryan, because they just couldn't get seats in the arena, or butts in seats in the arena. And I don't know how much that helped because they weren't very good. Wicks came in, turned it around, third place in the Horizon League last year. And now Gottlieb put in a tough position by all means, right? He wasn't hired until May. But we will see. We will see. But obviously, unwavering confidence from Doug Gottlieb. So appreciate all the reaction on that. Want to get back to the Packers. It's 11 o'clock. Are we doing 7 at 11?
I was just going to ask you that because I don't have a list for 7 at 11. And I text Craig this morning, and he said he'll get back to me next week on what we're going to do for whatever the mystery game is called. So I don't know. I just want you to know, as a producer, I just listen to what the host tells me to do. I have no control.
All right. We're going to figure out what we're doing next in the next couple of minutes.
I mean, I need to know because if we do 7 at 11, then I need to make a list. If not, then we're going to be talking Pack. I need to know.
Don't make a list.
Okay.
We're good. We're going to skip it this week.
All right. Or skip it this week, skip it next week. Who knows?
I don't know. I won't be here next week, so do whatever you got to do.
Oh, okay.
But I do want to get back to the Packers. I want to get to
harsh work
I want to get to your crappy, speaking of harsh work environment, I want to get to your crappy opinion. So we're going to do that in the next couple minutes. Jason Wilde, 11:30 with you until noon. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Who's looking for a deal? Well, Cousin Subs has a better deal just for you. Cousin's new $10 meal deals are now available online only. Choose between a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub, a bag of chips or regular fry, a regular fountain beverage, and cookie at cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app for just $10. Now that's a better deal. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Available at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Save big on your next project right now at Menards. Get cleaner clothes and softer skin with Morton Water Softeners. Morton's Wi-Fi integration allows for tracking and alerts, which puts you in control of your water while at home or away. Morton's Look Ahead technology learns and predicts your water needs, saving you money. Save big on Morton Water Softeners. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
We got London on the track.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Hour 2 Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Alex Strofe, Kyle Wallace hanging out with you this Sunday morning. Kyle's jamming this morning.
You know, every Sunday I get a chance to play music I like. That's what I appreciate about Sunday Karma with Craig is that I get to play what I like.
Hold on a minute. That was an indirect shot. That was a shot at me. I produce your show 5 days a week.
Yeah, and I have to endure the music that you play.
Endure?
Yeah, I have to endure the music
I
that you play.
have a good taste in music.
You have a above average taste in music, but the music that you play, you never have me. How often do you hear me jamming? Most of the times I'll sing into the mic, but like I hear stuff like this and I get hyped up, and Craig will, bob off beat to it. He's like, "Yeah, who's this?"
Offbeat.
And I'm like, "This is Young Thug." He's like, "Okay, Young Thugga."
That wasn't a bad Craig. That was
around him enough.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad. All right, Sunday Karma, Alex Strofe, Kyle Wallace with you. Jason Wilde's going to join us 11:30 this morning. Had some parental preempts, if you will. Moving him back to 11:30 this morning. We'll get to our Palermo's picks to wrap up the show. Championship weekend in the NFL. It's Bills Chiefs tonight. I don't know who to pick in that one. Other one, it's Eagles Commanders. I do know who to pick in that one.
Interesting. I guess you'll make your picks at 11:45.
About 11:50 this morning. Yeah, but 11:50 this morning. We'll get to that. But you made a pick this week of Kyle Russ and Nortman. Weekdays 2 to 5, ESPN Wisconsin. The big debate this week has been after seeing what this rookie quarterback is doing as he shoots into superstardom, and Jaden Daniels, the quarterback of the Washington Commanders. Who would you rather have, Jordan Love or Jaden Daniels? Everybody's kind of asked that question, wondered that question. I know Wilde and Tausch polled it earlier in the week. 53% of respondents said Jaden Daniels because he's been that good his rookie year. Going to win Rookie of the Year. Does have the opportunity to become the first rookie quarterback in NFL history to start in a Super Bowl. But I can't pick Jaden Daniels after 1 year. He's been incredibly impressive. And one thing he does better than Love ever will is utilize his legs, right? He has the rushing ability much better than Love's. He can sling that football too. Jaden Daniels is a really good quarterback. I'm not devaluing what he's been able to do and the turnaround he's helped the Commanders make. But it's year one. What I know about Jordan Love is he can be a really good quarterback. In fact, we saw a stretch where he was the best quarterback in the NFL. And this, I'm not talking about a 2-week stretch. I'm talking about a 2-month stretch, 2.5-month stretch in 2023 when Love was the best quarterback in the NFL. The second half of the season and even into the postseason, that game in Dallas last year. I still have a ton of faith in Jordan Love. I still think this is a guy that can eventually elevate to a top 5, top 7 quarterback in the National Football League. Now, I know the pressure and the expectations are much higher on Love this year because he's making $55 million. The nice part about Daniels is he's on a rookie contract for a couple more years. But all in all, Love is still a good quarterback in the National Football League. This is still a guy who I think can get the Packers to a Super Bowl. Is Jaden Daniels a good quarterback? Yes, but I trust Jordan Love in the Packers system. And maybe Daniels becomes Patrick Mahomes, an NFC rival, right? Maybe we see Commanders and Chiefs over and over and over again. I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't want to compare Daniels to C.J. Stroud of the Houston Texans, but C.J. Stroud won Rookie of the Year, won a playoff game as Rookie year, was terrific. Took a backslide his sophomore year. I think that's very, very possible for Daniels. He's not going to be able to reach. I mean, maybe he will, but I just don't think it's likely he's reaching these expectations again. But Kyle, earlier in the week, said, Yeah, I'll take Jaden Daniels over Jordan Love.
You see where your thought process is flawed here. I'm going to let you know.
Oh, boy.
Because you said I'm like Allen Iverson, I am the answer. And I'm going to tell you exactly why your thought process is flawed.
Well, time out for a moment. You said you were Allen Iverson.
No, you
answer.
agreed. You concurred, as they say. Right?
Sure, yeah.
And so my whole point is this, is that after last season with Jordan Love, did you think Jordan Love was going to probably be a top 5 quarterback in NFL? Or did you say, if I wanted to start a franchise? That was a big conversation in the offseason that we saw a lot of people talk about. I think Mike Tannenbaum from ESPN said, hey, if I wanted to pick a quarterback to start a franchise with, I would choose Jordan Love. Would you have been like, oh, they're crazy for saying they want to start a franchise with Jordan Love after what he did in the 2023-2024 season?
No.
Okay. And so,
I don't think people are crazy for saying Jaden Daniels is going to be great. I have no issue with that.
No, what I'm saying is interesting is that now when you talk about Jaden Daniels, he is the next star. He is the next one up. He is the darling, as you said on KBN. He is the new darling of everybody in football.
Yeah,
right?
but those don't last, Kyle, right?
But you think it doesn't last, but we're talking about it was okay to select a Jordan Love last year in year number 4 as a player.
No, that was
in the
probably
NFL.
silly too.
Okay,
He's still a young quarterback in this league.
You can say it's silly, but all the talk with Jaden Daniels right now, this is based off, he didn't have a Aaron Rodgers who he was sitting behind for multiple years.
Mm-hmm.
He was at LSU. He was at Arizona State before that, and he came in and he took a team that you said won 2 or 3 games last year to the point where they are on the cusp of going to a Super Bowl. And so when we think about who we're going to start a franchise with, this doesn't mean anything bad for Jordan Love. It doesn't mean Jordan Love still isn't a great quarterback. It doesn't mean that Jordan Love and Jaden Daniels may not be going head-to-head for the next 4 to 5 years to see who is the top team in the NFC. It doesn't say that Jordan Love is not a great quarterback. All it is saying is when we look at potential, when we look at body of work, when we look at success, Jaden Daniels has been more successful in shorter time than Jordan Love. That's what it is. So I love Jordan Love, but I'm not a fool. Jaden Daniels could potentially be the next Pat Mahomes. Jaden Daniels could potentially be the next Tom Brady. Jaden Daniels could be the next Drew Brees, Peyton Manning. Like Jaden Daniels, what he's doing year 1, we have never seen before. And this is why it is foolish and silly for us at this moment to say that I would choose Jordan Love over a guy who has done more in less time. He has led his team to a higher place than our boy Jordan Love.
Sample size matters, though, Kyle.
He has as many playoff wins as Jordan Love has.
Actually, he has more. He's won 2 games.
Oh, there it is. I forgot Jordan Love we went 0-1 this year.
1 and 2 in the playoffs is Jordan Love. 2-0 is Jaden Daniels.
It's foolish for you to think that I had a crazy take or you're trying to slander my name here based off the fact that we have seen what Jaden Daniels has done.
I just think
in a lesser organization.
For you being the Packer backer you are, I think it's just premature to give up on Love this quickly. And
I'm
again,
not giving up on Love. I'm saying somebody else is better. It's like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. I love Aaron Rodgers, but if I had to choose, in 2009 when Aaron Rodgers took over for this football team, or 2008-2009 season, and they said, "Do you want Aaron Rodgers or do you want Tom Brady?" I'll say, "Give me Tom Brady." Hell, if you asked me in 2015, not 2015, and I think he came around, 2013? Pat Mahomes, 2012?
2018.
No. When did he come into the NFL?
Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
2017 was his first season.
Jeez Louise, that's crazy. If you ask me after 2017, one season of Pat Mahomes' full season, so that's
2018 was his first season.
After 2018 season, when he threw for 4,000 passing yards, I think almost 50 touchdowns. If you ask me, do you want Aaron Rodgers or Pat Mahomes to start your franchise with? I would have said, give me Pat Mahomes. Give me Pat Mahomes. So it's not taking away from Aaron Rodgers' legacy choosing that. It's not taking away from what Jordan Love could be. It just says Jaden Daniels could be a once-in-generational talent.
You like the shiny object.
No, I don't like
you
the
do.
shiny object.
You clearly do,
I like the good shiny object. I like driving the luxury vehicle. The one that everybody stops and stares at and says, damn, that's a good
sample size matters. And this is not me saying Jaden Daniels is going to fall off. It's just I have 2 years of Love, and I know he can be really damn good in this system. And I am a Matt LaFleur believer, right? I'm drinking the green and gold Kool-Aid for sure. But this is a guy who I think can elevate this team to Super Bowl level, just like Jaden Daniels is doing with the Commanders. But I need to know it's not a fluke because he's been great. Only 12 turnovers in the regular season.
This is not a fluke, Strove. I don't know. What's crazy is that you weren't saying these same things about Jordan Love last year.
Let me bring up a name for you. Let me bring up a name for you. The guy Jaden Daniels is playing against today. Jalen Hurts.
You think he's a fluke?
No. But 2 years ago, he got the Jordan Love treatment. He got the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Everybody's viewing him as the next up-and-coming star quarterback. Last year, they start 10-1. They lose whatever it was, 6 or 7 in a row, including a playoff
had some
game.
issues.
This offseason, was anybody going, Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFC? Was anybody saying, Jalen Hurts, superstar? Jalen Hurts, that's who I'm starting. Nobody was doing that anymore.
People were not doing that.
The commentary changes so fast, right? Just like it's going to with Jordan Love. You just mentioned it. Last offseason, the national pundits are saying, that's the next up-and-comer. That's the guy you want to start a franchise with. And this offseason, guess what's not going to happen? That, because Jordan Love was hurt, didn't play as well as he did the season prior. This offseason, it will be about Jaden Daniels. And
he's earned it.
I agree. But next year, if Jaden Daniels flounders a little bit or has the quote-unquote sophomore slump, all of this changes. We forget about how good he was. Jordan Love is back in the conversation. Jalen Hurts is back in the conversation. What about Brock Purdy? Right? Didn't make the playoffs this year. Everybody's going to bring him up again. Our commentary changes like that, Kyle. Jaden Daniels has been great. But give me Jordan Love as the future of this franchise every day of the week, including on Sunday.
So you rather pass up on a guy that could potentially be the next Patrick Mahomes because of he wears the green and gold? Because if Jordan Love played for, I don't know, the Minnesota Vikings, you wouldn't be saying, give me Jordan Love over Jaden Daniels to start a franchise with. You wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say this is your loyalty to Jordan Love. It has everything to do with the fact that
it certainly plays a role. I won't deny that one for 1 second.
Completely what it is. It has nothing to do with Jordan Love clearly being more talented. It has everything to do with your loyalty to the Green Bay Packers. And that's fine. I mean, if you want to use emotions and attachment over logic,
yep,
and what we see, that's fine. You could do that. That's what you do as a fan.
All of the above, Kyle.
I just
Only
choose
above.
I choose to be emotional in bits and pieces. But in this one, I say that boy Jaden Daniels, he's good.
Who you got? Daniels or Love? Get in on this. Carbless Talk and text line is 800-990-3776. Again, the Carbless Talk and text line. Less is more with Carbless. 800-990-3776. Adam in the 920. Objectively, Daniels better at this point in his career. But that doesn't mean Love isn't also a great quarterback in the making, which I think is the point we're making, Adam. These are two young, good quarterbacks. Obviously, Daniel's a little bit younger in terms of his football age, right? It's his first year in the NFL. Love entering year 6 already, but only year 3 as a starter. Who you got? Chef Ed, I'm not ready to jump off the Love bandwagon yet. Next season, Daniels will have to deal with the same thing that Love did this year, which is defensive coordinators have film on him.
Isn't it okay for somebody to be better? Like, Jordan Love is not going to be the best quarterback in the NFL.
Patrick Mahomes will always be that, right? Nobody's betting against Mahomes. But could Love consistently for a couple of years of his career, Kyle, be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? Yes.
100%.
Right?
100%. And that's okay.
We are also operating in an era, which I love, right? That the NFC is so wide open at that position. Hurts is good. Daniels is good. Love is good. Goff is good. Stafford's good. I mean, look what they did in Minnesota this year. Sam Darnold had a really nice season. Caleb Williams, Bryce Young are up-and-comers. The NFC is wide open in terms of who is the best quarterback. When you look at the AFC, it's far from wide open. You got Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. The list goes on. C.J. Stroud, right?
I think that goes to the point even more that Goody has to capitalize on this.
I'm with you.
It's wide open. There's no team that is a juggernaut in the NFC. And the Green Bay Packers are not far from being a really, really good football team.
No, they're not. They are not. And he preached urgency at a season-ending press conference a couple weeks ago. We need to see the urgency now, and we'll dive a little bit more into that coming up next. Also want to hear from you on this. Love or Daniels? 800-990-3776. Your way into Sunday Karma. Alex Strofe, Kyle Wallace hanging out with you until noon. Jason Wilde, 11:30. We continue to talk Packers right after this. ESPN Wisconsin.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Even when you think you know what's going on, you can never be too sure.
What's the matter with my camera?
Can you straighten up?
You are in the bottommost corner.
Hold on.
There's nothing wrong with what he's doing.
Packers, nonsense, chaos.
Hey,
I didn't come to work to get yelled at today.
Any
Damn
day,
it.
Any day Chewy shows up on any camera,
better?
not sideways, it's a win.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One Collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One Collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One Collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Bring in the new year at your local Milwaukee Metro Region Kunis Auto Group dealerships. If it's the new year, it's time for a new ride. So plan on driving into 2025 in style at a Kunis Auto Group dealership near you. Your Milwaukee Metro Region Kunis dealerships feature America's best-selling brands from both Buick and GMC, all at nearby locations in Oak Creek and Greenfield. During January, every remaining new 2024 vehicle plus thousands of select pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs are all being discount priced to sell. We've got to make immediate room for hundreds of incoming new 2025, as well as hundreds of fresh trade-ins from the holiday season. We're paying top values on all trades, no matter what the mileage or condition. Don't forget to check out individual dealership websites for pre-owned vehicles super specials. Plus, January service specials on everything from oil changes, tires, and brakes. Ring in big New Year savings at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Region Kunis Auto Group dealerships, or shop online at shopkunis.com.
Guys, let's talk about something important. That's you. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Taking care of your health and appearance isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, they make it easy. With experts in advanced skincare, body contouring, and anti-aging treatments, Quintessa's here to help you stay sharp and at your best. Trust me, when you look good, you feel even better. So why wait? Visit myquintessa.com and take the first step toward a more confident you.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting another Scramble tournament with $750 in cash prizes available. Hey ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellison, and Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a two-man scramble at Pebble Beach, all from their comfortable golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. The tournament costs $120 per pairing and is happening now through January 31st. Your winter chance to play Pebble Beach awaits. WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
In season, off season, draft season. Whatever season it is, we are Milwaukee's place to talk green and gold. Listen, watch, or stream live whenever, wherever. 94.5 ESPN.
16-year-old. They check it to 10.
I got calls calling. The yard check was fall. Where's Ollie with them?
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Mo Bamba on a Sunday. Let's go. Alex drove Kyle Wallace with you at Sunday Karma with you, ESPN Wisconsin. You jacked up for Championship Sunday, Kyle? You fired up for these games tonight?
Yeah, I actually am. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it's disappointing and underwhelming. The Packers obviously haven't played in a few weeks and won't until September. But I need to be the bearer of bad news. There are 3 football games left this season. 2 of them are today. One is the Super Bowl. So enjoy it while you can. We don't have much NFL left. And obviously college football in the can after Ohio State's championship win on Monday. Discussing Jaden Daniels and Jordan Love. We got some reaction rolling in on the Carbless Talking text line. This is more with Carbless, 800-990-3776. Brandon, who we heard from earlier, chimes in. Give me Jaden Daniels. His skill set out of college was better than Jordan, and the fact he's this good this early tells me he's better than Love. Sucks to say, I'm just depressed. From Brandon in Tulsa. I feel you, dude, right? Like, every season, we build ourselves up Because, look, we've been spoiled as Packers fans. We build ourselves up like, oh, this is the year, man. We're finally going to do it again. It's been 14 years, but here we come. And then we get crushed. The good news, at least this time around, was this wild card loss, it wasn't painful. Like, you kind of just felt the whole game they were going to lose, right? The opening kickoff is fumbled.
Yep.
And it didn't feel like, what are the good examples? The 2021 divisional round against San Francisco, the 2014 championship game in Seattle, right? Those are heartbreakers. This one wasn't a heartbreaker. You saw that coming. And the Eagles are good, right? The Eagles are a good team. And it's a tough place to play, obviously, and the Eagles still alive today. So we will see. Just reading through some of the reaction here from Al on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat. If Love is injury-free next year and Love doesn't shine, the honeymoon is over. The list of blame is about 3, right? Like, what I've realized from Packers fans the last couple of weeks, the list to blame is 3. In no particular order, it's Matt LaFleur, Brian Gutekunst, Jordan Love, right? Head coach, GM, quarterback. That's where most of the blame is being placed for the Packers. If you want to call it shortcomings, you can. In 2024. Who has the most on the line next year? Because I think it's Brian Gutekunst. I don't think it's Matt LaFleur, and I don't think it's Jordan Love. I think it's Brian Gutekunst who has the most to prove in 2025. Right? He's got to hit on a first-round pick. He's got to hit in free agency. Whether that's depth or starters, he's got to make a swing or a couple of swings in free agency. Goody preached urgency in his season-ending press conference. He's got to show that he has that sense of urgency entering 2025. So when it comes to LaFleur, Gutekunst, and Love, I think the most to prove in 25 is the general manager, Brian Gutekunst. Kyle?
I think that's accurate.
You agree? It's good.
I believe it is accurate because what we have seen from Jordan Love is what he can do. He can elevate a football team. This year he was hurt. Inconsistency was something that was, we saw from him this year. We know what Matt LaFleur can do with a football team. He was able to get a team last season to be 9-8 after losing Aaron Rodgers. So I really think it comes down to, can we get the pieces to allow for Matt LaFleur to be at his best, to allow for Jordan Love to be at his best? Because right now we're lacking an explosive receiver on offense, and we're lacking a difference maker on the defensive line. Mm-hmm. That is what the Green Bay Packers need. We all see that. I'm not a general manager. You're not a general manager.
I am not.
But we know a little bit of football. Goody knows a lot of football. He knows exactly what the holes are. If he wants to win a Super Bowl, he knows exactly what he has to do. So, Goody, go and do it, and let's win a championship.
Yeah, Sig on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat chimes in. We've been lucky, spoiled. Is something I just said, right? We as Packers fans have been so spoiled. Yes. Look at the Chicago Bears. Look at the Cleveland Browns. Look at the New York Jets. This is a team that's in the playoff conversation every single year. Every year. Even in years where you enter it with no expectations and a first-year starting quarterback, they win a playoff game. So, yes, we are spoiled despite not winning Super Bowls. But this is a team that's always in the conversation. So, that's that. All right, Jason Wilde joins us next to break down the latest from Green Bay. We dive into Packers talk with Jason Wilde coming up next on Sunday Karma.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 855-620-1801. That's 855-620-1801. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Comes to offering medical coverage to your employees. Saganiac Planning can coach you on ways to balance costs and prioritize care for your employees with coverage provided by United Healthcare. Call Steve Fluellen, 262-783-6161. 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Insurance coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Insurance Company or its affiliate. Administrative services provided by United Healthcare Services, Inc. or its affiliate. Health plan coverage provided by or through United Healthcare of Wisconsin, Inc. The Saganiac Planning Marquette Basketball Greatest Scorers. The Marquette Greatest Anything must include Dwayne Wade, but he only played 2 seasons, so he can't match the numbers of those with 3 or 4 years. But Wade is the leader of the 2-year club. Career average 19.7, among the best ever. Similar to Jim Jones' 2 years, 19 a game. And 2-year club add Andrew Rousey. Like Wade and Jones, a season averaging over 20 points per game. Dwayne Wade, Jim Jones, Andrew Rousey, among the greatest scorers with only 2 seasons of play.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. And it is playoff time, now or never. Don't miss out on the last few weeks of football action with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the playoffs. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Prize Picks, the best way to win real money this football season. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money. Download the app today. Use code WI. You get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Show podcasts, team-centric feeds, and listening live whenever, wherever. All of that in the palm of your hand. The Wisconsin On Demand app, available in the Apple or Android App Store.
Can't write one song that's not about you. Can't drink without thinking about you. Is it too late to tell you that everything means nothing if I can't have you? I'm in Toronto.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Yeah, Sunday Karma with you. Championship Sunday in the NFL. 4 teams remain, 2 will get to the Super Bowl 2 weeks from today. Alex Strofe, Kyle Wallace with you this morning. Excited to be joined, as always, by the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year. Co-host of Wilde and Tausch, Jason Wilde, joins us now on Sunday Karma. A little bit later than his typical time. Did we win the basketball game, Jason? I assume that's why we pushed back.
We didn't push it back because we won. We pushed it back because this game was being played. Hopefully the next one goes better. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, so no win this morning.
I don't know why we have to belabor the point.
Exactly. Let it go. Let it go.
well, Jason, I is this the team you coach?
I am an assistant.
Okay.
But
so,
I am not on the bench.
Well, one hour ago,
coaches on the bench.
1 hour ago, I spoke with a coach from Division I basketball who has the longest losing streak in the country, that being Doug Gottlieb. So I'm pretty good at talking losses. If we want to do that.
Yeah, no,
okay.
I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate your offer.
Who's under the most pressure in 2025? Brian Gutekunst, Matt LaFleur, or Jordan Love?
Ooh, who do you think?
I picked Brian Gutekunst because he preached urgency, and he preached, I know he doesn't believe in championship windows, but he said this team's close, right? So I think if he wants this team to take the next step, obviously he's got to take some big swings and hopefully hit on a first-round pick. I picked Goody.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I not only that, but I think the reason why he preached that urgency is because I think he thinks they've got a championship roster, which he's assembled, which, again, these are the dangers of, and I'm always going to encourage guys to speak their mind because it makes it more interesting for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when he says something like that, the connotation, at least in my opinion, is, hey, we're good enough to be competing for a title. The team that we have, they've got, his message was they've got enough experience, right? We're not a young team. That's an excuse. That 22 draft class now has 3 years of NFL experience under its belt. The rookies from this season just finished their first NFL season, and there's an old saying in the NFL that by the end of the season there are no more rookies, especially when they play as much as some of those guys on defense did. So I would rank Goody third, and it's probably too close to call between the coach and the quarterback. I would probably say that it's a little bit more the quarterback because he ratcheted up expectations to a very high level after the way he played during the second half of last season. And for whatever reason, you want to blame injuries, you want to blame the offense not developing a way to blend both him and Josh Jacobs and what they both do best. Whatever you want to blame it on, the fact of the matter is Jordan Love did not make the leap that I think Packers fans wanted him to make, but Jordan Love wanted to make too. So I would probably put him first. I'd put LaFleur second, and I would put Goody third.
Okay. Interesting. As we've had a few weeks to sit on it, Jason, what do you chalk up Love's shortcomings to? Obviously, being injured a couple different times throughout the year didn't help his case, but you mentioned it. He ratcheted up expectations after a really nice run in 2023. 2024, I mean, he was a little bit more consistent in terms of he cut down on the turnovers, other than the wild card game in the second half of the season. But what do you chalk up his shortcomings to most in 2024?
The fact that he's a second-year starter and that's a process. And Tausch always pokes fun at me for my growth is not linear, but the stretch that he put together during those whatever it was 8-9 games, if you include the playoff game against Dallas, I mean, that rivaled what I consider the best quarterback run that I've ever covered, and that was Rodgers after Run the Table in 2016. I mean, those are neck and neck for the best quarterbacking I've seen with my own eyes in person, and he didn't come anywhere close to that. And I think we expected him. There were a lot of people crowning him, putting him in the MVP conversation. If you watch Lamar Jackson, who turned the ball over twice last week, if you watch Josh Allen today, and you watched him last week, if you watch Patrick Mahomes, who obviously has not, in my opinion anyway, carried that team so much as made sure that they don't make the fatal mistakes that cost you games. If you look at, the way Jaden Daniels has played as a rookie, talk about raising expectations. The way those guys have played, Jordan Love didn't play as well as any of them. And that doesn't mean he's not capable of that. We've seen him play at that elite level for stretches, but maybe we just crowned him prematurely, and he's going through the process of developing into a franchise quarterback. And that's why I look at next year as so critical for him, because year 3, he really needs to make that jump to being, hey, I'm not just a guy who puts together some stretches of really good play. He needs to be a guy that plays, that when he plays poorly for 1 or 2 games in a 17-game schedule, it's noteworthy because that's not what you're accustomed to. And there were too many games this year where he was okay to good, and then there were some games where he wasn't that good. And do the injuries factor in? Absolutely. Again, everything factors in, right? The offense, the Malik Heath running his route at 15 yards instead of 20 in the playoff game prompting the interception. I mean, all of that stuff is part of the equation. But as I said to LaFleur when he was talking about how you can't just put it all on the quarterback, yeah, we all agree with you, Matt, but we still live in the real world. And in the real world, quarterbacks get paid $55 million a year because they're the ones that are supposed to figure out a way to overcome that and to be better. And whatever goes haywire around them, they're the ones that figure out a way to make it work. And more often than not, in his second season as a starter, he didn't do that enough. And now in his third year, given what they have paid him, given their expectations for him, he has to play at that level.
Yeah, I think that's really well said. Jason Wilde, Alex Strofe, Kyle Wallace with you. Sunday Karma here on ESPN Wisconsin. Jason, give us an insight that I imagine a lot of Packers fans aren't super familiar with. John Eric Sullivan, who is the vice president of player personnel for the Packers, had a couple of interviews for GM jobs. Looks like he will be returning to the Packers next year. Who is John Eric Sullivan? What does he do, and what makes him so appealing as a GM candidate?
Yeah, I mean, he's followed essentially the same track in his career that Goody did. Area scout in the Southeast, then college scouting director, then pro personnel director, and then, kind of Goody's right-hand man. So he's worked his way up much like Goody did in the Packers organization. Obviously, he's going to get a GM job. It's most likely somewhere else now, unlike Goody, who got it here. But the fact of the matter is that he's a really good talent evaluator. He's well respected around the league. There were only, 3 jobs that were open. I think he interviewed for 2 of them and didn't get them. I would liken it to Jeff Hafley interviewing for the Jets job and not getting it. Like, if you're a Packers fan, you should be happy because he's a really good talent evaluator. So is Milt Hendrickson, so is John Wojciechowski. Like, they've got a deep bench. But, when you look at what the Packers have done in the draft the last 3 years, that's not just, we all want to credit Goody, just like, he's kind of the quarterback of the personnel department. It's not just him, right? He's the guy who ultimately makes the selections. But the guys that put together the board, the guys that write the reports, the guys that influence him matter. And John Eric Sullivan's one of those guys that influences him and matters.
Yeah, interesting. Thanks for the insight on that. Hey, quarterbacks coach is the big opening for the Packers. We've talked plenty about it on Weekly Wilde, which you can find ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. Jason and I talk every Thursday, all things green and gold. Little bit of you and I are operating under the idea that they will likely go internal, right? Like, they have 3 good internal options to fill that void left by Tom Clements. But recent developments. Scott Tolzien, the former Packers quarterback, who has been a good QB coach, offensive coordinator in this league, is not going back to Dallas, so that could be a potential option. And the Texans fired their offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick, who is a Green Bay Southwest High School graduate. Do you think either of those guys are realistic options to fill the quarterback coach void?
Yeah, I don't know what Matt LaFleur is thinking. The fact that he hasn't, that he's interviewed as many defensive line coaches as he has. I think he's interviewed at least 3, maybe more, and hasn't interviewed a single quarterbacks coach. Just further makes me think that he's looking and intending to go in-house. That said, as soon as I saw Ian Rappaport's tweet the other day, I texted it to Scott Tolzien and said, hey, I know a team that could use a quarterbacks coach, because I love Scotty. He is one of my all-time favorite people, and that would be a selfish hire, and I'm not in charge of hiring, so I don't get to make that call, but I would love to have him be back here. He's a top-notch human and a really good coach, and I think you've seen him. He probably could have gotten into coaching much earlier, and he kind of wandered in the wilderness of what do I want to do next now that my playing career is over. And I know he had some reservations about going into coaching that he and I would talk about, because it's a stress and it's a time demand and all those types of things. And he chose to do it anyway. And Mike McCarthy swears by it. And Mike McCarthy has a very, very high opinion of him. So I don't know what Matt LaFleur's plan is, if he plans on interviewing people or not outside the building, but I know Rob Domofsky posted this the other day. I had heard similar things, that Luke Getsy will be back on the staff. But, neither Rob nor I know exactly what capacity that is. And is that as a special offensive assistant of some sort? Is that as the quarterback's coach? He was Jordan Love's first quarterback's coach when Jordan got here in 2020. So all three of the guys that are in-house make sense. And I think that you've heard Matt LaFleur talk about Connor Lewis multiple times, but the guy that I am very curious how he envisions moving forward on his staff is Sean Mannion, because Sean Mannion had other options and the Packers got him. It makes me wonder if they said, hey, look, we don't know how much longer Tom Clements is going to coach. You can learn a lot and develop as a quarterback's coach, working with him for a year or two, however long he stays. But I know this, and I've told you this before, John Schneider, who obviously is someone that I care about and respect and know very well, told Sean Mannion when he was on the Seahawks roster, you are going to be a head coach in this league someday. And if that's what John Schneider thinks about Sean Mannion, then I would say that Sean Mannion probably is ready to at least start at the quarterback coach position, start working his way up the ladder.
Yeah, backup quarterbacks make good coaches typically, right? We've talked about that plenty of times. Scott Tolzien being one of those guys, Sean Mannion being one of those guys. We will see what the timeline on that is as the Packers got to make a couple internal changes over the course of this offseason. All right, we will get to our Palermo's picks coming up next, Jason, but I want you to get back to coaching basketball. We need to get a win. So, Super Bowl 59 in Jason Wilde's brain includes which two teams?
All right, well, first of all, I coach at practice, and I love practice. It's my favorite thing, where you're only allowed two coaches on the bench, and I'm just Ted Lasso anyway, pumping everybody up. So although after the way that game went, I probably am needed more.
Oh, wow. That's at the coaches.
Wow.
Make the change. Hey, let me get on the sideline.
Let me get on the bench.
No, I mean, our girls are a little downtrodden with the way the game went, so that's why Ted Lasso is needed. Certainly not the X's and O's, but I'm going to stick with pictures. That said, I really want it to be Washington, Buffalo, and it'll probably be Philadelphia, Kansas City. But that's what I'd like to see.
I'm with you. I think America's with you,
Jason. America's with you. But I just want to give some coaching tips. Have y'all tried the full court press? Just press. Hey, girls, we're gonna do what Bruce Pearl used to do. Just press.
94 feet, baby.
Yeah, no, we did that again. I am in no way second guessing any of the coaching that occurred today. I am purely suggesting that we did not play very well, and so we're open to any ideas after the way the first game went.
Press.
And
that's all we'll say.
Put the ball in Wilde's hands.
Yep, let her shoot.
Yeah, I'm in favor of that. That's for sure. But, her father was a chucker too. So what's she gonna do?
Who's the best player on the team, Jason? Just being honest.
Her name is Addie.
Addie just needs to shoot 50 times. Just Addie shoot. Y'all want to win? Addie, put your Addie in. That's what it is.
You didn't say best. I didn't say best shooter. Best all-around player. Camilla's our best shooter.
Well, Camilla, get on the wing and start rifling.
Set screens for Camilla.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll do that.
Good stuff.
I appreciate the insight, boys.
All right. Thank you, Jason. We appreciate your insight.
I won't charge you this time. You know I got that.
Not this time. Yeah, you get what you pay for. That's for sure. All right, guys. It's gonna be good.
The great Jason
I
Wilde.
don't think Jason knows is that I was an assistant coach for the Milwaukee Bucks for like
You're such a dork.
No, I was right there with Thanasis.
Kyle sat courtside one time with Thanasis Antetokounmpo and now thinks he's an assistant coach for the Milwaukee Bucks.
We were talking ball. He said, "Get low." I said, "Get low." And then the Bucks got some.
So what Kyle is saying is Thanasis Antetokounmpo yelled things and Kyle just repeated them.
I helped echo it so the guys could hear us. Giannis, at the end of the game, Giannis smiled and he giggled and pointed at us. I mean, he might have been pointing at the Thanasis, but I was part of it. We smiled. We made eye contact.
No.
He thanked me.
You happened to be sitting next to him. He was not thanking you. He was thanking TA. He was thanking his brother, whose insight he appreciates.
Listen, if they heard TA, they heard me. I was an assistant coach, and I helped the Bucks win.
You're an idiot. Palermo's picks next as we wrap up Sunday Karma.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
If you love designer brands and you love clearance, then you're going to love this. Macy's is having a huge designer clearance event right now with incredible new designer markdowns on cold weather styles from BCBG, Hugo Boss, Michael Kors, and more. How big are the markdowns? How about Coach boots for $200 or less? So if you're looking for the things you love all in one place, come in and shop the designer clearance event at Macy's today. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Wisconsin is still cattle country. And that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting another Scramble tournament with $750 in cash prizes available. Hey ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellison, and Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a 2-man scramble at Pebble Beach, all from their comfortable golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. The tournament costs $120 per pairing and is happening now through January 31st. Your winter chance to play Pebble Beach awaits. WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Kevin Moret for Mentality. Most new clients in Mentality are stuck at just 1/3 the free testosterone they need, and that's a losing battle. Without enough free testosterone, nothing works. Your energy's gone, muscles weaken, and fat piles on. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Mentality's doctors bring your hormones back into balance so your body starts working again. More energy, stronger muscles, better results. This year, stop settling for a fraction of your potential. Start strong with our New Year offer at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Start the day with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
When you're paid like an A player, you have to play like an A player, not a B player, and he has never played like an A player.
On 94.5 ESPN, streaming on the Wisconsin On Demand app and on video at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. It's that time.
Yes, it's finally here.
Craig makes his picks of the week.
You can bet the house on it.
Picks of the week on Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin. Presented by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Can't wait to see what happens next.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Palermo's Pizza is the freaking best. I know Kyle and I, we love a good deal. They had their buy one, get one going on a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, I got that one.
I had the mother of meat, Screaming Sicilian, earlier in the week. Delicious. Threw a little hot honey on there.
came home to I think a Connie's is what my lady
Yeah. Those are really good.
She
the thin
cooked it up
pies,
for
yeah.
lunch, and I ate the leftovers.
Yeah, Palermo's does it best. Find it at your local grocer's freezer. Uses only the best ingredients, fresh ingredients, whole milk, mozzarella, cheese, real butter, and the Kraft-style stone-fired crust. Tons of toppings. No matter what you're getting. The Mambo Italiano, the mother meats. Maybe you're getting the normal pepperoni. Palermo's are the best. Find it at your local grocer's freezer. Championship Sunday in the NFL. Chiefs-Bills in Kansas City. Commanders, Eagles in Philadelphia. 4 teams remain. 2 will advance to Super Bowl 59. Jason Wilde said it best. I want Commanders, Bills. I think we're getting Eagles, Chiefs. I fully agree.
Are you going to make some picks here?
Yeah. Let's start with the early game. It's Commanders, Eagles. 2 high-powered offenses. 2 dynamic quarterbacks. It's going to be a good one, I think. Jaden Daniels has elevated into a superstar already, man. I mean, we talked about it earlier. No denying that. He's been really, really good for this Commanders team. I just think he falls short today. I think the Eagles get back to the Super Bowl for the second time in 3 years. Jalen Hurts is good, but Saquon has taken that team to a completely different level this year. I am a total believer in the Philadelphia Eagles. Might be partially because they beat the Packers the way they did a couple weeks ago, but I think the Commanders' Cinderella story is really cute and fun. I don't think it gets to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles in the early game.
See, I'm feeling what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Like, it makes sense that the Cinderella story finally comes to an end. The clock strikes midnight. She got to take her ass home. That's what I think that this is. But for some reason, I don't think midnight is today. Maybe it's because my boy Nick Bellore, who's from Milwaukee, who I played high school football with, still cool with today. Maybe because he plays for the Commanders. Had 3 tackles last week on special teams. But I honestly believe there's something in my soul that thinks that the Eagles are a good football team. They're not a great football team. And they should win the game today, but things don't always go the way you fully expect them to go. And I believe the Commanders shock the world. They continue the Cinderella story, and somehow this terrible football team that picked in the top 5 last year
Number 2
is going to find themselves in a Super Bowl. It doesn't make sense, but think about the miracle they had with the tip of the pass and the touchdown to beat the Bears, and they just keep finding ways to win. What they did last week to go to Detroit was impressive.
Brother, I'm with you.
Impressive. But this is a tough, gritty football team who pops when their back is against the wall.
Look, I hope you're right, because I've been the preacher of parity, right? That's what I love about the NFL. I love parity, right? I want different teams in the Super Bowl. I would love to see the Commanders there. I am not feeling good about parity today, and that leads us to our nightcap tonight. It's Bills at Chiefs. Chiefs are 2-point favorites. I think they win. But look, if there was a year for Buffalo to get over to the hump, it's this year. It's a great opportunity. The one thing that scares me about Buffalo is they really don't have a true number 1 receiving option. Khalil Shakir's been good. Ken Coleman's had a fun little story. Who's the dude that doesn't wear shoes? Mac Hollins.
The ayahuasca-looking guy.
Yeah. Well, he's done ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers.
He has?
He has.
Oh, makes sense.
And they are in a picture together. So is Von Miller, actually.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I can't pick against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I just can't do it. I don't know how anybody can ever do it. I just told Kyle this stat in the break. I was doing a little research, believe it or not. If you've been listening to this the last 2 hours, I do research sometimes. 10-0 in one-score games the Kansas City Chiefs are this year. 10-0 in one-score games. Finished the year 15-2. Obviously, now they are 16-2 with a win last week. 10-0 in one-score games. That is completely bonkers. I think they're 11-0 in one-score games after today. I've got Chiefs-Eagles in Super Bowl 59. It's the boring pick. It's not the parity pick. I'm rooting for Bills Commanders just like the rest of America. But history's pretty cool. To have a 3-time Super Bowl champ back-to-back would be kind of neat.
I think we have back-to-back-to-back-to-back.
I think you're right. Well, you said it 4 times there. You think they do it again next year?
No.
You already predicting a Super Bowl win for the Chiefs next year?
No, the Packers break it next year.
Good. I like that. That does it for us. Big thanks to Doug Gottlieb, Jason Wilde, Kyle Wallace for their time and efforts this morning. You produced pretty well today.
Thank you. I usually do a decent job, unless Craig, throws something at me.
He gets in your head, I think.
He just throws a lot of random things at me.
Craig and Scalzi are back with you next week, and then it's me and Kyle, Super Bowl Sunday in a couple of weeks. I think it's Eagles, Chiefs. Kyle thinks it's Commanders, Chiefs. We will see. Hopefully we're all wrong. I want Commanders Bills. That would be fun. All right, enjoy Championship Sunday. What does Craig usually say here?
Kyle, send us out.
Kyle, send us out.
Peace.
This is ESPN Wisconsin and ESPNWisconsin.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, I got you something.
What's this?
Just a little Galentine's gift from JTV.
Do you mean jewelry television? I love their jewelry. They have the
New customers get $25 off their first purchase of $75 or more. Visit jtv.com/romance.
Yeah, their artisan collections. Gorgeous.
Are you going to open your gift?
Oh, yeah. It's the pearl bracelet.
New customers receive $25 off their first purchase of $75 or more.